Like many kids born in the 90s, I grew up with this really small franchise, very niche. You've probably never even heard of it. It's called Pokémon. As a kid, I absolutely loved Pokémon. In fact, according to my recollection, the very first games I ever owned were Pokémon Red, Blue, and Yellow for the Game Boy Color. What a time to be alive. Back then, I watched the movies, the anime, had toys, collected the cards. It was all the rage back then, and as far as I can tell, it is even bigger now. That being said, at a certain point, I just lost interest. Not because Pokemon had done anything wrong, but simply just because. I was probably just going through puberty and finding interest in other things. Those original Pokemon games ended up being the only Pokemon games I ever owned. Not played, owned. We never had an N64, so I didn't own any of the Pokemon Stadium games, but I've definitely played them. I've got lots of good memories playing those mini-games. New games started coming out. Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire. The list goes on. I thought they looked cool, but for some reason I just never got them. By the time my birthday or Christmas rolled around, I ended up finding something else I wanted more. But then there was a point where I just completely dropped off of Pokemon. I remember it very clearly. I was in my high school English class. A friend of mine was a TA and would often spend his time playing Pokemon on his DS. I don't remember what Pokemon game he was playing, but I watched for a little bit and saw a Pokemon that made absolutely no sense to me. Gears? A lamp? Since when were Pokemon made out of man-made household items? Anyway, at that point, I just completely lost interest. Then, fast forward who knows how many years, I'm attending university and Pokemon Go comes out on mobile. Played that for like a couple weeks, then lost interest. Fast forward a few more years or so, my friend wants to play Breath of the Wild, which I had, so we do a little trade. Breath of the Wild for a game called Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I played it for like a day, and once again, just lost interest. This was in like 2018 or 2019, which I can't believe was more than 6 years ago. Fast forward to more recently, I start recording myself playing games and uploading to YouTube. I'm thinking of what games I should play, and I remember that I have never actually beat a Pokemon game before. Not even the originals. I have Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which is basically a remake of the originals, right? So that's when I decided to pop it in and begin this journey to beat my very first Pokemon game. And how has it been so far? It has been pretty fun. I was pleasantly surprised. Most of the games I played on my channel aren't exactly lighthearted or family friendly, so playing Pokemon has been a very nice change of pace. Going from Pokemon Red to Pokemon Let's Go Eevee is obviously quite the jump. The first Pokemon games came out in the US in 1998 and Let's Go Eevee came out in 2018, which is a 20-year difference. Going from this to this was absolutely appreciated. I really liked being able to see the Pokemon out in the wild. That made hunting for Pokemon much easier. I could just see the Pokemon I was looking for and go after it. It was actually exciting finding a new Pokemon to add to my Pokédex. I also really liked how the Pokemon were more true to size in the wild. Not gonna lie, I actually had a few jump scares with large Pokemon appearing out of nowhere.
Whoa, what the?
I'm not entirely sure how accurate the sizes are, especially looking at Haunter.
Oh, Haunter is huge.
But either way,
Nice.
It added to the immersion of the game. As a kid, I didn't really pay any attention to the story. I had seen episodes of the anime, so I basically just assumed I was like Ash, just trying to catch them all and beat everyone. Now that I'm playing as an adult and can understand things like story, yeah, I was basically right. The name of the game, as far as I can tell, is to catch and train Pokemon, collect gym badges by beating the gym leaders, and then beating the big guys and becoming the best. Just like the original game, I get to name my character, my rival, and any Pokemon I catch. I went with the name Vegeta for myself, and Goku for my rival. That ended up being pretty fitting since he was always trying to fight me. As for my starter Eevee, I went with the name Saitama. I'll admit, I didn't really care much for Eevee starting out, especially since I preferred Pikachu, you know, the literal face of Pokemon. But I actually started to appreciate Eevee's more neutral type nature as time went on. Though I do still like Pikachu more looks-wise. I liked my Eevee with sunglasses, but I bet Pikachu could rock them even harder. But from there, I was off to the races. So far, I think I've been able to catch at least one of every Pokemon I've come across. Except for one. I've been making sure to talk to every single person that I see. Lots of interesting opportunities to get new Pokemon. Yes, I did buy the Magikarp for 500 Pokédollars, which was absolutely worth it. I did get scammed out of some major cash by a crazy psychic lady though.
That was a freaking scam.
Do it. There was some crazy looking circus guy who was trying to teach my Eevee some moves that he supposedly made. Yeah, something didn't quite feel right about that, so I declined. Maybe he's actually got some killer moves, but I don't know, I don't trust him, man. I was a bit surprised when I found out I couldn't get a bicycle from the bike shop. In fact, I don't think it was even a bike shop, it was just some bike nerd's house. But then I learned that you can actually ride some of your Pokemon, which I thought might negate the bike problem. But it felt like riding a Pokemon was just about the same as walking. Until...
Oh!
Yeah, no bikes is fine. There were some fun little side stories going on, like the little Cubone looking for his dead mother, beating the crap out of the Team Rocket crime organization not once, but twice. I've only got 6 of the 8 badges currently, so I'm sure there's going to be lots more interesting story to see. I've actually just finished getting all 8 badges, and man, that was a bit of a twist. After I got the 7th badge, I was a little confused on where to go to get the 8th one, but then Goku reminded me the Viridian Gym, which was previously closed, was now open. But when I finally made it to Viridian Gym, I was not expecting to see Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket. I thought, maybe he killed the Viridian Gym leader and took his place. But no, he actually is the Viridian Gym leader. And after I beat him, he just disbands Team Rocket for good? Does this happen in the anime? Does anyone know? Please let me know in the comments. Now, obviously when it comes to Pokemon, the bread and butter is fighting. Fighting has been both fun and sometimes incredibly frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, don't even get me started on throwing those Pokeballs.
Why?
The most frustrating thing for me was actually 2 things. Number 1, sometimes, for whatever reason, my opponent would get 2 consecutive turns. This was probably the most frustrating aspect of the entire game. I couldn't really figure out why this would happen, which made it even more infuriating. I assumed that maybe it had to do with the Pokemon's level or maybe type matchup. I'm guessing that maybe a Pokemon speed stat may also have something to do with it. Either way, there were many moments in this game where I wanted to go in and fight the Pokemon myself. Number 2, immobilizing moves. Falling asleep was probably the biggest offender. Now, things like burn or poison I didn't mind too much. At least I could still attack. But falling asleep or getting frozen? Oh boy, do I hate that. Now, I get why it's in the game. It certainly makes it more challenging and fun in certain ways. But I still hate it. There was this one trainer coach, the one you get the TM Dream Eater from. She was constantly trying to put my Pokemon to sleep so they could use the move Dream Eater.
I swear if he used
This drove me freaking insane.
No. Oh my gosh.
Now, at this point, I still haven't finished the game yet. I got all the badges and thought, okay, now I just gotta beat the Elite Four and I'm done. Well, it turns out getting to the Elite Four is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. Remember, I've never beaten this game before. I thought it was just like a walk in the building and ask the receptionist kind of situation. Yeah, I'm just here for my 2 o'clock. But, finished or not, I think I can confidently say that I'm having a great time with Pokemon. Okay, I'm done. I beat the Elite Four. And Goku. Again. Man, they really had me going thinking I was gonna go up against Professor Oak after the Elite Four.
No way.
Only to have it actually be Goku? Are you freaking kidding me? I get it, but I don't get it. Yeah, he's technically my rival, even though he's way weaker than me and is literally scared of everything. There is literally nothing about him that gives final boss energy. I think Professor Oak would have been way cooler. Anyway, after that anticlimactic ending, there was thankfully still some more to do. Waking up to a new day, Goku tells me of a strong Pokemon who has appeared somewhere north of Cerulean City. So I go north of Cerulean City to find absolutely nothing. Wait a second, I actually haven't been here yet. I find this cool looking cave, catch some more new Pokemon, and then... Oh, it's Mewtwo! The one and only Mewtwo. I don't think I was more excited about seeing a Pokemon in this game than in this moment right here. And he got away. Damn it. How could I let this happen? Thankfully, there is a way to make him respawn. Unfortunately... Yes, Mewtwo can appear again in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. If it flees during your first encounter, you just need to rebeat the Elite Four. I had to beat the Elite Four again? So I fight the Elite Four and Goku again, who have all leveled up this time, and get to encounter Mewtwo again. Only to lose him again. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done, that's it. Back to my conclusion. Overall, I had a surprisingly great time playing Pokemon. It was like playing an old game from my childhood that I hadn't played for more than 2 decades, with a new modern spin. Actually, that's exactly what it was. Now, do I think Pokemon is the greatest thing in the world? No. Maybe, but I think I see the value in it and things like it. I think I have enough interest at this point where I would want to play another Pokemon game. Thankfully, I have some friends who are willing to let me borrow theirs. Yeah, I'm not paying for that. I beat the Elite Four again and finally got Mewtwo. I've also started playing Pokemon Legends ZA, so if you want to see that experience, check out my gaming channel, Ricky Just Plays. Okay, bye.